You found Channel 13. Keep watching. Keep watching. Keep watching. Keep watching. Keep watching. This transmission carries with it nothing of value.
This did reboot or reinvigorate, I should say, the slasher genre.
Rejuvenate.
This teen slasher drama came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Again, it died out in the 80s, and then it started again. It's insane, and then you start getting I Know What You Did Last Summer, and God, they started doing kind of like remakes and shit.
Was there any like underground horror movies? Not underground, but I just mean like, it's like there's still some coming out at these times. It wasn't like there weren't horror movies.
Oh no, they were still
not horror movies, but like teen slasher movies,
yeah.
like Halloween, starting with like Halloween, ending with like a multitude of bullshit movies in the 80s, right?
It's pretty much all the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street.
And then Friday the 13th, that's when they started like going back to Friday the 13th and all that shit.
Didn't they start, weren't they doing Halloweens all through this whole time? Like prior, wasn't like H2O?
H2O was 20 years later, so that was 97. That's what I'm saying. So like they brought back Halloween.
Right. Because once Scream did well, they all started just jumping on the bandwagon. They're like, sweet, we can pump these things out.
When's Army of Darkness?
92.
And I can't really call that like a teen slasher.
No. I'm just, it just jumped in my head.
But I mean, that's what, I mean, there was definitely horror movies happening, but they weren't, teen slasher. Take your date. Try to get.
But end of the day, like you're right though. This movie definitely made the mainstream talk about horror movies again, and
Not
you can talk
movies.
about
this was. I'm saying slasher movies, like a masked killer with a knife.
Right.
This was.
I mean,
7,000 movies from 77 to about 86, and the entire genre died out because no one gave a shit anymore. And then 10 years later, it restarted again, and then you have Hook Guy, and you had your stragglers. Sure, they still maybe they made a Halloween or a, maybe Halloween 5 or 6 or some nonsense came out then. Maybe one of the Friday the 13th. I forget when Jason Takes Manhattan and 7 came out. I think 7's 89.
Yeah.
And Manhattan might be 93 or 92.
And even then, I mean, those weren't doing well. That's why it was kind of, it was
and like they were
overdone.
jokes of movies. And like those were doing the best because they were still the name brands, but like the whole genre, April Fool's Day, Sleepaway Camp, Slumber Party Massacre, all this type of shit, those died out. Then you started getting it again. As I Know You Did Last Summer, right? The guy who had the hook hand.
Yeah.
I never watched it.
Jeepers Creepers.
Like Ryan
that was like a demon one.
Yeah, but it's kind of a slasher.
Is it Wrong Turn a thing?
Yeah.
That's a horror thing.
I guess I can't really call that.
There's a bunch of those.
Teen
is that like a cabin or not cabin, but isn't that like a hillbilly woods?
Yeah, it's
wrong. No, Wrong Turn. Wrong Turn is with
like
Paul Walker, and he gets chased by a trucker.
Isn't that Jeepers Creepers?
No, Jeepers Creepers is a flying demon, and that's
similar.
a movie directed by a convicted pedophile, the same guy who did Powder. It kind of had the same effect also, where people trying to make franchises like seriously, like there was I Know What You Did Last Summer, I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and then there was a third one.
Scream must have been greenlit instantly because it was 96 and 97.
Oh yeah, they already knew they're going to have a sequel. They kept bringing up having a sequel in the first one anyway, so you knew it was coming.
No, they didn't say a sequel in the first one. They were talking. They give away the killer in the first 2 seconds of.
I know
of the second one.
There's going to be a sequel.
There's no cliffhanger. There's zero cliffhanger.
By Timothy Oliphant saying sequels are better. Sequels are better. Oh well, that's the killer. Who was the other killer? Oh, that lady that has no reason to be in this movie other than the fact that she's the fucking killer. Yeah.
I'm glad
Laurie Metcalf. It like those two stick out like sore thumbs. Like, what would be the point of he's the only one saying that sequels are better, except for Joshua Jackson, your favorite Jack-Off Jackson. He's in that class.
He's like pretty much clearly the killer because he is the Jamie Kennedy knowledge-wise, And everyone thought, like, why was Jamie Kennedy not the killer? Because he has all this information. So they just threw a second Jamie Kennedy in there. And that's
he's also saying that sequels are better. Mm-hmm. Sequels are better. If
I
Jamie
like that
Kennedy,
conversation.
Oh God.
I love these movies. They're so much fun.
Oh, dude, Jamie Kennedy in that class where he's like doing the voices.
Oh my God, I would have walked out of that class. Like I went to fucking school with those kids. Like like you just throw paper at them. Like it is.
Yeah.
Oh God, who does impressions in front of other people? Like, what the fuck are you thinking? Like, what?
If I was a teacher, I'd be like, I've warned you about this. This would have been awesome. Like, I've warned you about this. Shut up, or I'm kicking you out.
You were in college, not middle school. Get the fuck out of my.
Exactly. And you
don't
get those
say
kids.
Silicana.
Right. And that's what Prozac was invented for those fucking kids. Like, you just drug them up and shut them up.
The second that scene starts, I just watch the background of that entire thing because everyone in the class is told they have to laugh. So like everyone is laughing for that scene, but no one, like, it's not funny. No one thinks impressions are funny.
There's a trope that comes with these movies where people call and they go, hello. They're like, hello? Who's this? Who do you think it is? And then they'll go like, Ted? My reply to that would be like, I have no fucking idea. If I had an inkling of who this was, I would have been like, Mark? Not who is this? Like, I hate that shit. They're like, yeah.
I just don't get when like people think pranks go on longer than they do. Like she thought it was Randy, and she's even the smart one of the group, but she thought it was Randy pranking her for a solid minute and a half. And he's clearly not being Randy-ish at all. What am I doing? What?
When this movie first came out, like I didn't see it in maybe
she calls him a cretin.
4 or 5 years until
cretin?
After it came out. And I enjoyed it then. This time around,
I liked it a lot.
It's kind of dated.
It's completely dated.
If you've never seen it and you're into the horror genre, check it out. I can't imagine why you haven't seen it.
If you're going to watch any of the Screams, watch this one.
Obviously.
Well, this is just like anything else. It's a Freddy movie. You know, the first one's the best, or you might have your random favorite other one. But like, yeah, this is another one of those. If you like horror slashers and all this jazz, you've seen this movie before.
I thought you liked New Nightmare the best. That's like the fifth one. That's the sixth one.
That's why I said, or you have your random favorite. Because I do
so it's nothing like it.
What's nothing like what?
Well, then it's just all opinion. What do you mean?
Everything's opinion. What are you talking about?
I'm saying you're like, it's just like Freddy. First one's the best. Or I mean, maybe not the first one's the best.
Well, the first one is literally the best film. My personal favorite is New Nightmare. But yeah, clearly the first Nightmare on Elm Street's the best out of the entire bunch.
What about Friday the 13th?
I don't like any of those except for the one where he fights Freddy.
Okay, but because you pick a favorite out of those.
I liked because of how much I enjoyed that kill with the sleeping bags. Whichever one that was at Space.
Jason
Space
X
is my favorite.
Jason X Part 2.
Well,
that was hilarious.
I feel like I really want to actually watch Manhattan because I think the idea of Jason in Manhattan, it sounds really fun to me.
Especially
like him walking down the street
they
and
get
stuff.
on a cruise ship on Camp Crystal Lake and take a cruise up to New York City. So now Camp Crystal Lake's attached to the ocean.
Right. It's supposed to be. It's amazing. It's actually pretty good.
That's ridiculous.
And that's the thing. It's like Jason's walking down the street and nobody gives a shit because it's fucking New York. So it's like it's great.
There's a guy in a hockey mask.
Yeah. It's like whatever.
Can we take a picture for $1?
Right.
But no, I mean, obviously, all of these movies, the first ones are the best out of any of these slashers. Right. I can't think of an example.
There's definitely
of really
a reason.
any horror movie.
I don't know. I mean, people might argue with you on Nightmare on Elm Street. Because a lot of people's favorite is the third one.
Yeah.
Really?
See, even Friday the 13th, like either the second or third one might be the better ones. Just
I'll give someone.
It's actually Jason and not like the mom and all that crap. So it's
sure.
That's why the first one's so interesting because you don't.
It is because you assume,
but it's the one that like
it makes no sense.
It was supposed to be.
Is Jason's mom 7 feet tall and fucking like built?
Well, don't they not do? Do they?
But
show
they don't
her?
show.
They don't show her.
And she's just wearing the burlap sack or whatever. So
no, she's not wearing a burlap sack.
Oh, that's right.
She doesn't wear shit. That's the second one.
She just goes around just killing. Yeah.
But it's only her point of view, so you'd never see her being 7.
Right.
But I guess she should be always like looking up at everyone when she kills them.
She was like 5'2".
She's a mom. Yeah, she's an old mom.
She's like, hey.
Hey guys, doilies.
What you doing in there?
But I think that this didn't require any sequels. It was fine.
You knew it was going to happen, though.
I mean, actually, Wes Craven isn't a huge guy on sequels. So he said, he's always one of those guys like, I only was going to do a sequel that I believed in. Like you believed in Scream 3.
Well, he believes in when he sees that money.
I don't think he does The Hills Have Eyes too. Was that his?
Yeah, his name's on it.
His name's on it.
He's the writer. He's the writer and producer of it.
Well, there you go.
I guess it's actually a remake, so if you want to argue.
There's no other writers on the remake?
I don't know if there's other writers, but I'm looking at Wes Craven's Wikipedia.
He's going to get a writer credit on the remake because he wrote the original.
Oh, because he created the characters. Yeah, good call. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm just looking at the Wikipedia.
So
of the man who made Dracula 2000.
As far as it goes, I think it's a creative movie. I think it's an interesting concept, but at this point, it's a swing and a miss for me. I don't know why. I used to enjoy it, and I don't know what's changed in the last 25 years or whatever.
Something like that, yeah.
25 years this year.
It's strange how much older that movie is than like Freddy was back then. But when I think about like watching Freddy, that was a decade old.
Right.
Like, I remember Freddy was an old movie in 1996.
It was 12 years old, and you're just like, wow, this franchise is like the Freddy franchise has already had like burned itself out. No pun intended.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
yeah, but no, because again, I love New Nightmare, and that was just 2 years prior to this movie.
Right, sure. But that was done though. That like the Freddy was dead.
Oh, he was over. Yeah.
I would say that the original Friday the 13th is way better than Scream.
Yeah,
I would not.
Oh yeah,
I would. Honestly,
I mean, sorry, Nightmare on Elm Street. I said Friday the 13th. Sorry, I got Jason.
I would say both of them are because neither of them have Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah, true.
Such a good.
This
argument.
movie might be actually a better movie without him. Like,
as far as slasher like teenage movies, this one's kind of low on there.
There's a lot.
I give this movie a solid A.
There's just
straight up.
It's just do you like wink wink? Do you like a lot of winky shit at the camera? And that's a lot of this movie where you can kind of go, or oh, I get that reference. Oh, I see why Dave likes it now.
References? You think I got references when I was 16? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean from 80s horror.
From this movie, you totally did.
Especially since most of references are just Wes Craven.
No, you're 100% right.
Yeah, you're probably like when they had the janitor like in the hallway with the hat and the sweater.
I definitely wouldn't have caught that.
Yeah. Oh,
but when I found out that was him, I definitely said, "Oh, awesome!" I remember hearing the Fred. I just got the reference because of the sweater right away.
Sure.
You said you didn't get it in the theater.
No, I didn't know. I did not know that was Wes Craven.
Oh,
I didn't
know until now it was Wes Craven. So there you go.
I also
25 years later.
I know.
You don't care.
I don't fucking know what he looks like.
All right.
I like him. I like when he talks. He's good at interviews because he's
got a very passive and relaxing voice.
Yeah, he's super chill.
Cool.
But he's almost like, I don't know. I'm so much better than you. Like I'm being relaxed. I don't know. It's kind of, it's not just politeness. I don't know.
It's like I have a control over my emotions.
Well, Ben loves the girl who played Nancy very much from the Freddy Krueger movies, and she does a documentary about herself after they made the awesome Freddy Krueger documentary, and he does an interview with her, and you could tell like she thinks of him as like she thinks he really signs her Christmas card. And he doesn't know that she's on the list for his secretary. Okay. Do you know what I mean? Like,
right.
And it's quite entertaining to see that dynamic.
That's kind of fun.
Heather Langenkamp really has placed herself into the stars as this icon.
She thinks she's like a Scream Queen or Jamie Lee Curtis or something.
She really does.
How many nightmares did she do?
She was in the first one and the third one, and I don't even think she was in any other horror movies.
She's in Nightmare.
1 and 3.
New Nightmare.
That's right. She's in 1, 3, and 6. And
I mean, Jamie Lee's only been in a handful of Halloween, so.
Well, not Halloween's though. She was in Prom Night. She was.
Yeah, she's in every. She's in tons of that shit.
I mean, I'm saying that Jamie Lee Curtis has a far more successful career.
No, she's literally the queen. I would say.
She's in just. Speaking of horror movies, she's in a shit ton of horror movies. Yes, her career changed later on, but
When she
started
legits.
out, she's in a ton of fucking horror movies.
She's in True Lies. I'd give this movie maybe like a B minus C. Like, check it out, I guess, if you haven't seen it. I didn't mind rewatching it, but even rewatching it, I'm like, it's actually kind of dumber than I remember it being. So,
but are you just dated? Like, are you like?
I think
did it make sense?
There's just so many
in that time era?
holes, and it was just annoying. I'm just like, all right, like
Back to it, I give it an A. I'm not going plus or minus or anything. I'm just saying an A. I fucking love it. I like Ghostface a lot. I love how dumb he is, and every version of him is an idiot. He falls over a lot. He makes me laugh. I don't care about the, suspending disbelief. Like, it is just a fun movie, and I do like the references and the nerdiness. And that's a good argument, you fucking weirdos. I like all that stuff.
I'd give it a solid B if Jamie Kennedy weren't in it. He is really just his face, everything about him.
He sucks. Hate him. He sucks something awful, and there's no denying it. Again,
when David Arquette is like a subdued, normal person comparatively in a movie, you are a fucking penis hole.
He's not doing his impressions. At least I don't recall he does impressions in the first one. Like, nope.
Did you put her liver in the mailbox? I heard you put her liver in the mailbox.
Yeah, that's annoying. Yeah, but
he's not over the top.
Yeah, he's doing Jerry Lewis.
Yeah.
Oh. Either way, yeah, I don't think he's over the top in the first one.
Everybody does that in person. Everybody, at least back then, did, and it's stupid and annoying.
Everybody in the 90s did Jerry Lewis impersonations?
Sure.
Mark grew up in France.
Yes. Mark grew up in the 30s, apparently.
He doesn't bother me at all.
He's just an insane, I think he bothers me more as time goes on because I know how annoying he is in the second one, so I hate him in the first. And I know how, he was in The Mask too, and he was so angry that
that's the second time you said that. No one watched that. That's not
No. Movie. Here's the thing. So people hated him so much in that movie. Like, all the reviews were like, who the fuck is this guy? Why is he? He got so angry, he made a documentary about film critics, like trying to figure out why they're so mean. And basically it was like, they're not in movies and I am, so that's why they don't like me. Like, they're all failed directors, actors, and writers. And that, there's not a single film critic out there that just enjoys the process of breaking down film and watching film. It's just that they didn't succeed at it and they're frustrated and taking it out on Jamie Kennedy.
That sounds very realistic to me, and I don't know why you guys are laughing.
It's called The Mask 2, and he was pissed that
the son of the Mask, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't even supposed to be a theater movie, right? It was as a DVD movie. So go see Scream in 1996.
Cool. If you haven't seen it, I guess check it out. But
skip over.
Check it out.
Comparatively, yes. If you want to see what these movies are all about, watch this one and no other. I mean, you can start with any of them; you won't be lost.
But watch your next couple episodes about those movies.
Yeah, because we're going to give these other ones a good review. We're going to get to the good stuff.
I'll probably end up saying they're all good.
You say everything's all good, so
yeah. I like most things. Ben hates everything. I like everything.
No, I have a brain that functions, and you are actually brain dead.
Oh wait, what are you, Mark? What'd you say?
I'm using the
Mark's
middle.
ugly.